Hi, class. Wanted to welcome you to Introduction to Multicultural Studies from whatever part of the world you're tuning in from, whatever state, whatever city, town, region, circumstance. You're very welcome to be in this class this quarter, offered by Shoreline Community College. I'm Dr. J, also known as Ernest Johnson, named after my father, Colonel Ernest B. Johnson, and also the son of Shirley Lottie Robinson Johnson. My parents met in the military. So I was what you call, don't call me that, a military brat, meaning I've lived lots of places in the world. Lived in Europe, lived in Africa, got my BA from the University of Hawaii, and all over the United States. In that time, I've learned some things. The majority of that time, I've been teaching either ethnic studies or multicultural studies. Started in ethnic studies in the 1970s. In the 1980s, I was in Sudan. I taught a little bit of linguistics and ESL. I came back, University of Washington in the 90s, and I taught ethnic studies there and began teaching part-time at Shoreline in the late 90s and full-time at the turn of the century. And so I've been here really since 1997 at Shoreline and have been teaching multicultural studies every quarter since I arrived. One of the things I'll say to you is that I enjoy teaching this topic because it's very close to my belief system. It reinforces how I see the world. And it has always seemed like a good way for me to give back to the world. I say that because multicultural studies is really an anti-oppression course. When I say oppression, think isms. We focus on classism, sexism, racism, heterosexism, ableism. Those are the big five that we focus on. And we touch on some other areas as well, ageism, religious hegemony, and such. But it's really an anti-oppression course, and it's focused on me facilitating your development of greater awareness, knowledge, and skills in and at a personal, interpersonal, and institutional level in dealing with oppression. And hopefully, during the course of the class, you'll have a chance to self-reflect on what you've learned. And by the time you're leaving the class, you will have started to apply what you've learned. The class is organized like most classes online. This one is fully online. And it's located in modules on campus. Think of modules as your syllabus. Modules are organized by the week. Each week is divided into assignments, discussions, quizzes, and there are some PowerPoints. And each of those assignments during the week have associated with them a due date, like in any other class. What's unique about this class, or at least different than most classes, is that many of the assignments have a due date when they're due and an open until date. The due date is obvious. The open until date means that the assignment is not going to be graded. You are not going to be assessed. You are not going to lose any points until the open until date has expired. So you'll see a due date that might say October 3rd and an open until date that'll say October 10th. And this means that you'll have an additional usually 7 days before that assignment is due. And it sets up very nicely for group work. So many times you'll have a group assignment that requires you to submit something individually. You can do that by the due date. And then you have a group product that is due to be submitted on or before the open until date. So pay close attention to that, because it's good to know what is due by the beginning of the following week, or which assignment you have 2 weeks to get to. The information on how to contact me is on the home page, and you found that if you found this overview. Also, I'd like to point out that the best email for me is actually the Canvas email and not the Shoreline email. The Canvas email is specific to your class. It has fewer emails for me to sort through, and it is the most efficient way for us to communicate with each other. There are certain times where you might find it necessary to communicate with me through Shoreline email, and that is fine also. My expectation for you for this class is that you commit to it, that you enter with an open and receptive mind and heart. And if you do so, it is very likely that you will get more out of this class than you initially imagined that you would. That has been the feedback to me by many students over the course of years that I've taught this course. I just wanted to familiarize you with the course, and so it's really divided into 4 parts. I mentioned the quizzes, the discussions, and the assignments. You also have your study group work, and a large part of the study group work is a project, which you'll be working on between week 3 and the end of the course. 11 weeks passes very quickly, so it's important for you to engage early and stay engaged. If you need any assistance, do not hesitate to contact me. I hope that you would not hesitate to contact me, because the earlier you contact me, the quicker we can brainstorm some solutions to the problems. Do not wait until it's very late in the process and then decide that it's a good idea to contact the professor. You know, that's one of the things you want to do up front. And that's what I'm here for, right? And so I reach out to you to do that, and don't hesitate to reach out to me. Your feedback is very important. If you're one of those people or students who work ahead, and you can do that in this class to an extent. I open the first 5 weeks of the class initially, and then I will fold in weeks as we move along. So I don't want you getting too far ahead. But if you're one of those students who works ahead and you come across some link that's not working or something that doesn't seem quite right to you, let me know. The sooner I know, the sooner I can fix it, and the better it is for everybody. So I appreciate your feedback. I feel like, you know, teaching is a learning process. I'm learning every quarter, and I hope I continue to grow as long as I'm, you know, breathing on this earth. And so don't expect to have everything right, but I'm willing to make corrections as we go and to learn as we go. So that's basically, I think, what I wanted to say to you. Remember that modules is your syllabus. You need to go through modules through the first 5 weeks that you'll find open, get a sense of how we're going to progress through the course. And if you do that and engage, as I said, with an open mind and a receptive heart, then we're all going to have a good time this quarter. So with that, I just want to say welcome again, and we'll be talking more next week. I'll see you then.